There are moments in history when a civilization shines so brightly it illuminates the world around it, and in ancient China, no dynasty burned with more brilliance than the Tang. This was a time of poets and warriors, of global trade and unstoppable armies, an era of emperors who commanded a domain so vast and so powerful the world looked east in awe, witnessing a civilization at its absolute zenith before we journey into this golden age. If you find value in exploring the forgotten stories of the past, consider liking this video and subscribing for more cinematic history each week. Now, let us begin. In the year 618, China emerged from a maelstrom of chaos. The preceding Sui dynasty, exhausted by grand ambitions and endless wars, had collapsed into ruin. Widespread rebellions, devastating famine, and political implosion had shattered the old order, leaving a fractured landscape in its wake. But from these very ruins, a new dynasty would rise, forged in the crucible of conflict. This was the Tang, under the astute leadership of its founder, Emperor Gaozu, and his formidable son, Li Shimen, who would become Emperor Taizong. China was poised to enter one of the most extraordinary periods in human history. Taizong was not merely a ruler. He was a visionary, a brilliant strategist, a profound reformer, a battle-hardened warrior emperor who had personally fought to unite the realm. Once on the throne, he rebuilt the institutions of government, fortified the military, and expanded China's borders farther than they had ever reached before, laying the foundations for an empire of unparalleled scale and influence. Under his commanding leadership, the Tang Dynasty became the very beating heart of Asia at its height. The empire stretched for thousands of kilometers, a colossal territory encompassing the arid, windswept deserts of the Tarim Basin in the west and extending to the vast, shimmering seas of the east. Its influence reached deep into the Korean peninsula, across the plains of Manchuria, and southward into the jungles of Vietnam. This was an empire not just of land, but of connections, a superstate that held sway over a quarter of the world's population. Foreign envoys, cloaked in the textiles of their distant homelands, would travel for months across treacherous terrain, their sole purpose to stand in the imperial court at Chang'an. This was not just a capital. It was the largest, most cosmopolitan metropolis on Earth. A sprawling, meticulously planned grid of wide avenues and enclosed wards, home to over 1 million souls, merchants from Persia, their caravans laden with silver and glass, monks from India carrying sacred texts, ambassadors from Arabia, Korea, and Japan all passed through its towering gates, bringing with them the riches and ideas of their civilizations. The legendary Silk Road, that ancient network of arteries connecting east and west, flourished as never before. Ideas, religions, technologies, and luxuries all flowed through the Tang capital, creating a vibrant, dynamic fusion of cultures. This was a world profoundly connected, long before the word globalization would ever be conceived. A testament to an age where diversity was not just tolerated but embraced as a source of strength and sophistication. If you are enjoying this journey through time, a simple gesture of liking the video helps this channel grow and allows me to continue bringing these vital histories to life. While the Tang military projected an image of indomitable power across the continent, its culture was reaching its absolute zenith. Art and literature flourished with an elegance and depth that would define Chinese civilization for centuries to come. Poetry, in particular, became the very soul of society. It was the language of scholars, courtiers, and even commoners. The names of Li Bai, the romantic wanderer, Du Fu, the profound sage, and Wang Wei, the painter-poet, are still whispered with reverence in Chinese culture today, their verses capturing the fleeting beauty of nature and the deep sorrows of human existence. Music, painting, and dance all achieved an unmatched level of refinement, their forms preserved into murals and delicate ceramics that speak to us across the ages. Under the brilliant and highly controversial reign of Empress Wu Zetian, the only woman to ever rule China as emperor in her own right, the dynasty pushed intellectual and political boundaries even further. A formidable political mind, she sponsored the creation of great universities and expanded the civil service examination system. For the first time in China's history, officials were selected based not on noble birth or powerful connections, but on demonstrable talent and intellect. This radical innovation created a true meritocratic bureaucracy, a class of scholar officials who would govern the empire with unparalleled efficiency and a deep sense of cultural duty. The Tang Dynasty did not just rule a country. It forged an identity, shaping what it meant to be Chinese for all subsequent generations. But even the most radiant golden ages must eventually cast long shadows. As the empire expanded, its immense size became a source of instability. The intricate machinery of state began to crack under the strain. Corruption, a silent poison, spread through the provincial governments. Ambitious regional warlords, known as Jadushi, were granted vast military and civil authority to guard the frontiers, but their power grew unchecked, and in the 8th century, the simmering tensions finally erupted. The devastating and Lushan rebellion, led by a charismatic general of Sogdian and Turkic descent, nearly tore the dynasty apart. The conflict plunged the empire into a brutal civil war that lasted for nearly a decade. Millions perished in the fighting, the subsequent famines, and the ensuing social collapse. Great cities, including the magnificent capitals of Chang'an and Luoyang, were sacked and burned. The Tang Empire survived the catastrophe, but it was a Pyrrhic victory. It would never again reclaim its former glory. The central government was permanently weakened, and the spirit of cosmopolitan openness began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of suspicion and insularity. Still, even in its long decline, the Tang remained a potent symbol of Chinese greatness, a dynasty whose cultural and political influence stretched far beyond its borders and long beyond its time. So why do historians and scholars so often refer to the Tang Dynasty as China's true golden age? Because it represents a rare and remarkable confluence of achievements. It was a time when immense military power, unparalleled cultural brilliance, unprecedented global trade, significant scientific advancement, and profound political innovation all rose in unison. For a brief, incandescent period, Tang China created a civilization that was, by nearly any measure, the most admired and advanced in the world, and its legacy is not confined to the pages of history. It lives today. It resonates in China's most celebrated literature, in the elegant brushstrokes of its art, and deep within its national identity. It is a memory of a time of strength, openness, and supreme confidence, a golden age that continues to inspire and inform the present. If this journey through the Tang Dynasty has inspired you, let me know by pressing the like button. And subscribe to join us as we continue to explore the incredible empires that have shaped our world. This is History Illuminated, where history comes alive. See you in the next episode.